What up guys, Johnny here with the final setup video which is about my hdin. So yeah, let's start off this. Hopefully it's gonna be a quick one. The Blizzard one was 30 minutes, Jesus Christ. This one should be much less because I have just very quickly I have just two three setups to go through, and should be much quicker, so hopefully. This is the Vitality setup again, and most of the time I'm starting with the Vitality setup. So this is the literally the setup versus Hammerdins, Necromancers. Oh Jesus Christ. Yeah, die bitches. No pickup as well. So this is the Vitality setup versus Hammerdins. Why do I have this little life? Okay. Something is not right. I think. Did I not book correctly? Interesting. Very interesting. Oh yes. Right. Very interesting. Okay. So this is the Vitality setup. Versus Hammerdins, versus Necromancers. At the same time I have enough resist that I can actually just duel versus noob javelins or Amazons. You know, with this I can duel versus sorcerers with this. I have enough resist, so pretty much this is almost like a very general setup that I just don't have enough max block and I don't have damage reduction. So versus casters you can go with this. I mean, I wouldn't suggest dueling an elemental druid like this, for example, because you will have very little damage reduction. But yeah, pretty much versus sorcerers, versus necromancers, hammerdins, you have a ton of life, you have a lot of damage and a lot of mobility. I mean, you always have mobility, but yeah, scratch that. Actually, you always have mobility. So my setup, normal enigma, pretty much the standard. You don't need to bother using anything else, any like special enigma or something, like a hybrid enigma or something like that. Shaco, by far the best option, literally. I mean, it gives you life and mana on level. I know it's not the best, but it's still much better. I mean, 148 life and mana on level. Gives you 2 toll skills, which adds to the bow as well. So for the most part, this is the absolute best choice that you can have for the Vitality setup. Amulet with 20 faster cast rate, very important. Nothing else will do, literally. I mean, 19 faster cast rate is not gonna do, or something like that. So, or 15. You need to have 20 faster cast rate to have your setup optimal. So only 20 faster cast rate will do. This one is with life and no resist, as you can see, but you can have the most valuable one is with dexterity, excuse me. So yeah, the most valuable one is with dexterity, but even if I had it, I would prefer to use 2 different ones. I would prefer to use this, and then I'll have the dexterity one for my max block setup, but that will be later. So, and then overall I will save, you know, some more life. I will have some more life, but I happen to not have a dexterity one, so I use this permanently for the most part. Heart of Oak in Scourge for you know, strength bugging. Water Walks, the default, the best boots literally for Hammerdin. I mean, 15 dexterity and 65 life. No other boots give you that much life altogether, because you save, you know, the 15 dexterity, so that's even more life. So altogether that's a lot of life, and it gives you max fire resist as well. So in this situation I have 90 fire resist with those, with the Spirit of Phoenix. So yeah, pretty much very good boots. You don't need to worry about the low faster on walk or something. Faster on walk, this is very important right now. and I've heard some people that that think that it's important to have faster unlock, but with a Hammerdin it's not important. With other characters that do weapon switching and stuff, it's very important. But with the Hammerdin, for the most part, the way you're gonna escape from situations is either just pure teleport, obviously, like like some other characters, or just charge and vigor away. That's it. But charge doesn't count your faster walk, so you will be dying the same way. You will be charging the same way. Either you have 100 faster walk or 10 faster walk. It's exactly the same thing. All that matters is the vigor. That's what boosts the that's what boosts the charge damage. So if you want to have more more mobility, then all you have to do is have more in vigor, because vigor, actually no, vigor, yeah, you have to have more in vigor to have more velocity. So literally, if you want to have more mobility, you don't need more faster run walk, you need more skills, like all skills. So this is a good choice. For example, 1 to all skill with the Bull Kathos is a good choice, because it gives you more, instead of something else, it gives you more, more to vigor as well, so you charge slightly faster as well. I mean, that's pretty much it. Don't get confused and trying to buy 30 faster on walk circlet and faster boots like Aldur boots or some shit like that, or don't think that it will help you. It's not gonna help you. The way you're gonna escape is with charge, vigor, and just remember that with charge, none of the faster on walk applies to your charge movement. So yes, faster on walk applies only to your only to your run and to your walk, but you will never run or walk in these type of duels. You mostly escape either with charge, vigor, or just pure teleport. That's it. So yeah, where was I? So okay, crafted ring with a lot of life. I don't need strength. Like, as you can see, I'm as per usual, I'm strength bugging my character with 30 strength amulet. So as soon as I put the 30 strength amulet and I take off my enigma, you can see that I have right enough, like just enough strength to wear the enigma, okay, wear the Archon plate. So theoretically right now I have 73 strength, okay? As soon as I take this off, I have 73 strength. So, but I'm still able to wear the Enigma because I've already put it on, and it gives strength itself. So, literally, I've barely put any strength. I don't think I actually put any strength. Let me see. So I have 73. Then it's 70, 60, 50, 40, 30. 40, 30, 28. I might have put some strength. I don't even remember. Give me a quick second. Just give me 1 second real quick. Right. Let me go. Ariat Summit. Classes. Paladin. So I've literally put two points in strength. That's all I've put. 2 points in strength altogether to be able to wear all my gear. And as soon as I refresh, believe it or not, this 3 strength ring is enough to refresh my gear, and right now I'm fully strength bugged. You can't even see my shackle. This way that I'm strength bugging, I am able to strength bug even the shackle. And yeah, pretty much I'm fully naked on if somebody else is in the game and looks at my character is fully naked. So right. Arachnid Mesh, the default, a default belt for me. I'm not used to using any bug belts or stuff like that, so pretty much, yeah, this is a very good belt to use. Like, in combination with all the other stuff, you get right enough, exactly enough faster cast rate, and I'm able to use Blood Fist, for example. Then I get like enough hit recovery as well, so with only 1 hit recovery small charm, so 55, 60, 70, 85, 90 hit recovery, and then Bull Kathos for the damage, and and again, and the slight mobility, and then a lot of life as well. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm using 7 skillers because the difference between 7 and 9 skillers is not really that big. I mean, so if I have 14, 15 right now, let me drop 2 skillers, that will be 14, 14. You see that? That's very little difference. I've dropped 2 skillers and I'm dropping just 1k damage. So at the same time, you know, because in other setups, because I take off some other stuff, I need to have some support from the inventory as well, because otherwise I'll have potato damage. So 7 is a good number. You can have 5 as well, or you can have 7, and this way you're sacrificing 2 skillers that won't give you too much more damage difference, and you're putting more life, so you're able to stack up more life, which is more important. More life and more resist, more important than actually having just slightly more damage and, you know, less life, because this damage is not gonna help you. 1k more damage is gonna do exactly the same in the majority of matchups, so it's useless pretty much, having 2 more skillers versus having more life and resist. Let me show you the damage reduction setup. So I'm putting Verdungo, I'm putting this circlet with 3 sockets, 20 faster cast rate, 3 sockets and 24 damage reduction. I'm putting Raven Frost for cannot be frozen, and then a dexterity ring, strength and dexterity ring. Very, you know, the whole character is very basic, except from the amulet. Everything else is, except from this amulet and this ring versus fire, everything else is very, very basic gear and super affordable. If you have decent amount of forum gold, you will definitely be able to make this type of character super quickly. Nothing is too difficult to find, and yeah, it's just a super fun character, you know, so yeah, an affordable one. So this right now I have max block. Actually, I do not even need this hit recovery small champ, so let me drop this away, and so 75 chance of block, and 15, 23, 43, 47 damage reduction, and 12k damage. That's what I meant by having more skillers, because otherwise I'm dropping even more life, you know, and 12k is actually enough versus druids. For example, this is the majority, like the most serious duel is versus druids, and 12k damage is pretty decent, trust me. So I can literally, as soon as you do, you know, good hammer field, and let's say he, you know, he jumps you and you smite him into the hammers, he will die in 3 hits, literally. So as soon as his oak is dead, he will either die in 2 hits or he will die in 3 hits while he has an oak, for the most part. So that's pretty much it. And all I changed is Verdungo, and I put this circlet. And why I'm using this circlet, you might ask, is because it has 20 faster cast rate, and if I'm not using this, I will need another 20 faster cast rate from somewhere. And where will I get it from? I'll get it from gloves. So I will have to use trunk gloves, and then I will use Crown of Ages, for example, but it's exactly the same thing, trust me. I mean, the combination between Blood Fists and this circlet is almost exactly the same as the combination between Crown of Ages and Triangle Gloves. The only problem I'm having with Crown of Ages is because, you see, I have very low strength, and if I have to use Crown of Ages, to be able to use Crown of Ages efficiently, you need to have 2 bears in the Crown of Ages. But if I have 2 bears in it, I have way too little strength to wear it. So to wear it, I'll have only 1 bear in it, and then a requirement jewel. So I wouldn't gain almost anything compared to this. Like I would have like even slightly less, you know, advantage. This one gives pure life, gives hit recovery. So pretty much for the most part, you know, it's exactly the same combo, and you gain 1% of damage reduction you gain as well that way. So yeah, altogether it's exactly the same thing, you know. in first glance it looks, oh my god, what a shit ass circlet, but when you compare it that you get 30 hit recovery and 40 life from the blood fists, it actually adds up pretty well. So it's exactly the same. I'm just having problem with the strength. You know, I don't have enough strength to wear this, and you know, the way I'm strength bugging my character prevents me from having too much strength, so that way I can't fully utilize Crown of Ages, but it doesn't even matter. Like, this setup is actually pretty good as well. I have a cold setup as well, so this pretty much the only other setup that I have is the cold one. I mean, I have you know, I have a unique slot here that I can put, you know, with other setups I can put, let me use this. With other setups I can put, you know, Wisp here, and then I have a Cham Shaco, for example, if I get colded or something, so that I can escape better. So versus a Trapper, for example, this is my setup. I use, you know, I have the 80 light resist from Phoenix, I put Wisp, and I put Charmed Shaco in case I get colded and I can't escape very well versus with you know, with charge. So, and I put like this hit recovery small charm, and I put another light resist small charm, and that's pretty much it. So I have enough stack of light resist. I have 28 light from this one. Versus fire, I'm using exactly the same setup. I'm just putting this ring with 48 fire, and then Bull Kathos, and then I'm replacing the ones with light resist with ones with fire. So yeah, right now I have the maximum fire resist that I can get, and yeah, you catch my drift, right? That's how it goes. That's pretty much the, you know, the situation. I have 4 light resist ones with 20 life, 4 fire resist ones with 20 life, and then I have 1 light hit recovery and then 1 fire hit recovery. That's pretty much the setup here. And those ones are 7 all resist, 20 life all resist small charms. Right. My cold resist setup. This is very important because, you know, blizzard sorcerers do the most amount of damage, so you need to have some cold resist versus them. So, and for that I use Crown of Ages with minus requirements jewel. So this one I can wear because it has 148 requirements because of the 15% minus requirements. I'm putting obviously Ravenfrost and this ring for the 10 cold resist add, and I'm putting this amulet because I don't need the faster cast rate. So I have 20 oh yeah, and I use Strong Gloves for another 30 stacks. So because I don't need the blood fists anymore, because when you're using Crown of Ages, you don't need to have blood fists because, you know, there's too much hit recovery. I'm only using blood fists in the durability setup because it gives the hit recovery that I would normally get from Crown of Ages. That's all. And in the vitality setup I use them because I'm using Shaco for the best amount of life. So right now 20, 40, 75, 85, and then another 40, 125. So I don't need the 20 faster cast rate from this amulet, and all I'm using this for is for the life and the all resist. You know, don't pay attention to the 10 all resist, since I was talking this stuff about, oh, you don't need, you know, it's not gonna improve your ability of, you know, movement ability if you have faster on walk. So yeah, I'm not using it for that. I'm using it for the life and for the all resist, like for the 20 more life and the slight, you know, all resist boost. So that's pretty much the code setup. You know, that's why I'm using those 2 small charms with strength, because as you can see, as soon as I take one off, I can't wear the Crown of Ages. And I don't want to put specific, you know, strength just for this setup. So I use those with cold resist, and obviously, as you can see, I have enough stack small charms here. I have another 66 cold resist that I can put here, for example, whenever I need it. And I also retain having oak, because a lot of the people use you know, use wizard spike versus cold resists, you know, to be able to easily stack resists. But it's better if you have you know, if you have enough cold resist with Hoto so that you can have Oak and you can, you know, tank even more. So your Oak will tank some blizzards here and there. So that's pretty much it. I think this will conclude. Like, I have a Grief of Doom here, you know, don't even, you know, pay attention to it. I'm not using this. A friend of mine, Alex, gave me a Grief of Beast on my Telesmiter, and so this was my original, you know, Grief that I would use, Berserker Axe versus Hammerdins and Druids and stuff like that for the range. But because my friend gave me Grief of Beast, which has more bleeds damage, because Deadly Strike doesn't affect Smite, you know, doesn't activate with Smite, so it's better to have Crushing Blow, for example, and Grief of Beast gives Crushing Blow. So, and Crushing Blow works with Smite. So, excuse me. So pretty much why this is here is because I don't have space on my Smarter to have it, and I just milled it on this character. You don't even need to have a Berserker Axe. For the most part, it should actually be a Phase Blade. If you're ever using a Grief on your Hammerdin, for the most part, it should be a Phase Blade. I mean, you could use a Beast, a Grief Berserker Axe versus Druids, for example, but you know, because you're not gonna get slowed. But at the end of the day, the main problem is you're giving yourself way too much advantage with this. Way too much advantage, because you know, the matchup then becomes super bad for the Druid, because they can never jump you, because as soon as they jump you, you know, you have lower Hammerdin than normal by just 2k, but at the same time you have much more smite damage. So as soon as you smite them, you know, and you charge them away, you will do so much damage with the smite that, you know, it's very unbalanced, super unbalanced matchup that way. So they will never jump you that way, and it will be a super boring matchup. So yeah, pretty much if you're a good Hammerdin, you will never use you know, a Grief versus Necromancers or versus Druids. You will only use it if you want to BM somebody or just, you know, have fun here and there. But for the most part, in a serious duel, Hammerdin versus Necromancer or Hammerdin versus Druid, you know, you shouldn't need to use Grief. The matchup, if you're good enough, you should be able to win without it. So yeah, and it's a more legit way. If you have Grief, then yeah, it's super unbalanced. So this will conclude all the, I think I've done all the setups. This will conclude all the setups for all the characters. Stay tuned for probably one more video at least. I'm gonna explain one thing, like one more thing, and yeah, just stay tuned for one more video at least. And thanks for watching, guys, and yeah, have a good day.